if the chief feels that she can trust her officers to be out like that, I'm willing to give it a try. I just want our community to be safe as well as the officers.
Only time will tell. The Sarasota Police Department is ending its policy of having 2 officers patrol together in certain parts of the city. The chief says the change is a way to build on the success of community policing and expand coverage. Yet others, including the police union, say it creates a risk to safety. Tonight, we'll hear from both sides on this contentious issue. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the change to police patrol policy coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with a crackdown on prostitution in Sarasota, part of an effort by police to battle human trafficking. A sting operation is netting 5 men, all charged with solicitation of prostitution. They range in ages from 20 to 73 years old. Officers say it is only part of their ongoing efforts.
This is, like I said, a daily battle for us, a daily fight. We go out there in the streets from patrol to street crimes, so on. We enforce. We do several operations a month.
Police say they aren't just focused on arresting prostitutes and people soliciting prostitution, but also helping to get women off the streets. Municipal elections are tomorrow in Sarasota County, and there are several races to keep an eye on. 3 city races and 2 referendums out on Longboat Key are on the ballot. Voters on Longboat Key are considering 2 zoning referendums. The first would allow developer Brista Homes to build 5 new villas on a vacant property along Gulf of Mexico Drive. The other gives Unicorp the green light to redevelop the former Colony property. Also on the ballot, commission races in Longboat Key and the city of Sarasota. A seat on Northport City Commission is also up for a vote. A follow-up now on a deadly fire that killed 3 children in Arcadia Saturday morning. The Arcadia Police Department says it was arson. Officers are identifying the victims as 10-year-old Marcus Clark, 8-year-old Kiani Clark, and 4-year-old Carmelin Clark. Marion Williams, a former girlfriend of the children's grandfather, is being held without bond, charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, and arson. The Arcadia police chief says there has been an outpouring of support from the community. Williams is set to appear in court on April 10th. Even though Florida leads the nation in job creation, the state's unemployment rate continues to rise. The Department of Economic Opportunity is announcing unemployment is now at 5%, which translates to more than 500,000 people. Despite the uptick, Florida added 54,000 jobs in January, more than any other state. Sarasota's unemployment is 5%. Manatee's is 4.9%. Now to Tallahassee, where legislation is being filed to limit the number of students enrolling in programs at Florida state colleges. A bill filed in the state Senate would directly impact schools such as SCF. State colleges primarily offer 2-year associate degrees. Under the proposal, schools could only have 8% of their students enrolled in a 4-year program. Currently, fewer than 6% of students at SCF are. But the administration worries that the rules could limit future growth.
Our concern isn't so much for where we are today, it's for the opportunities in the future. If a new business were to come in the area and needed a new program, we don't want anything to be in place that could limit our ability to do that.
The bill is set to go before the first Senate committee on Wednesday. In downtown Venice, a new 2-story office building is raising concerns over parking in the city. The building is going up between the Bank of America and the post office on Venice Avenue. Before it can be built, 20 parking spaces will have to be removed. Congestion is already a problem for the downtown area. The project needs approval from the city. If it gets okay, construction could begin in the next few months. New research shows humans are playing a bigger part in the number of dolphin injuries and deaths. Researchers at Mote Marine Labs and with Sarasota Dolphin Research Program are publishing reports showing dolphins who are fed by humans are at a higher risk for injuries. Scientists say by feeding them, they learn unhealthy behaviors, making them more likely to get hit by a boat, get stuck in a fishing net, or ingest fish hooks and lines.
We found for the first time that dolphins that got food from people, whether it was intentional feeding or unintentionally during the course of fishing activities, for example, were more likely to be injured.
Feeding or harassing wild marine mammals is illegal. Violators can be fined thousands of dollars or spend up to a year in jail. Let's get a check on our weather right now with Wendy Ross. Wendy.
And Alan, we are looking at the rain. It has been moving on shore for the past hour, and so we're getting some of these showers, and some of them are heavier. Excuse me. They've been moving across the area, and we can see these showers now moving across the region. And they're going to continue to move towards the northeast at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. We're going to start to see increasing winds too as the night wears on. We'll start to see stronger and stronger winds. And already our temperatures are beginning to drop 67 degrees right now, with the winds calm at this point, but we are going to start to see those winds increasing beginning tomorrow and Wednesday. Temperatures will be dropping down into the 70s and 60s for later on tonight, but you can see that we have got the rain showers and thunderstorms that are sitting across our area right now. Alan, I'm going to send this to a break, or I'll send it over to you.
For you right here.
Thank you so much, and I apologize. I'll make up for it later on in the show.
No problem. Here you go, Wendy.
Thank you so much.
And still to come. And then there was one. Sarasota's police chief is making a controversial change to department policy. Has community policing eliminated the need for 2 officer patrols, or is the move jeopardizing safety? The story when we return.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
It's a debate that has been going on for decades around the nation. One-man or two-man patrol cars. Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino says splitting up officers will increase the number of units on the street. The police union argues sending out officers out alone is not safe. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo joins us with more. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, some also pointing out that a situation can often go critical before an officer has an opportunity to call for backup. But DePino says once a call comes in, an officer will be right in the vicinity to assist.
Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino's newest initiative is now in effect, and Newtown Nation President Valerie Bouchon is on board.
If the chief feels that she can trust her officers to be out like that, I'm willing to give it a try. I just want our community to be safe as well as the officers.
But now the chief switch from 2-man to 1-man patrol cars are now the subject of a heated debate. DePino says under a new collective bargaining agreement, it gives her management rights to change deployment, specifically in 2 sections of the city, which includes Newtown.
We have changed it to keep the same number of officers in those zones, but to put each individual officer in their own separate car. That increases visibility within the community. It increases interaction with the citizens in the community, which is part of our community policing, partnership policing philosophy.
And more importantly, says DePino, the new strategy will keep officers and the community safe.
We have such a great relationship with people in our community. I believe that increases the safety of our officers with those interactions that we've had and the trust and relationships that we've built.
The chief goes on to say one officer can provide a more effective patrolling unit than a 2-man operation. But many opposing the initiative don't see it that way, simply citing safety in numbers.
Officer safety is reduced without a partner. It's a matter of simple math. 2 is safer than 1, period.
And Dufresne feels 2 officers have the ability to observe more in any given situation.
I mean, officers are human, and as a human being myself, which we all are, that's going to increase anxiety, like I said. And to me, that's going to increase the likelihood of mistakes, reflexive, knee-jerk decision-making, which is therefore detrimental to the public and its safety.
But Chief DePino says otherwise.
You're more likely to pay attention more, be aware of your surroundings more. You're not depending on a second person in the vehicle that could distract you. And you also say, well, I know that person's got my back, so you really have to be more self-aware.
It only leaves Bouchon worrying about what's best for the community.
We're looking for solutions. If this is truly a solution, we'll soon know. But I believe it's worth a try.
The chief also spoke with other community leaders regarding the change, and she says they were pretty receptive to the new system.
Right, Dwayne, thank you. Chief DePino is standing by her decision, but it's causing concern for others, among them the head of the police union. He is standing by along with a criminology professor. In the moment, we take it to the trapezoid.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Adults who were preemies could face more mental health risks in the next Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Although the financial crisis was some years back, it's still hurting many seniors today. But if you're a homeowner 62 or older, there's a mortgage program that just might make life a little easier. It's technically called a home equity conversion mortgage, but to keep it simple, let's call it a reverse mortgage loan. With the reverse mortgage, you can convert your home equity into cash.
We're not overwhelmed with paying the bills anymore.
And at the same time, eliminate your monthly mortgage payments.
We've got money in the bank.
You never give up ownership.
And smiles on our faces.
For your free information kit, call now. You'll have to pay your property taxes and insurance and keep up with maintenance, but you won't make mortgage payments. You'll receive money. For your free information kit, call now.
Call 1-800-634-1517 for more information. That's 1-800-634-1517.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. It is being called the biggest policy change at the Sarasota Police Department in 3 decades. The city of Sarasota is split into 10 patrol zones by the department. Until now, officers were required to patrol in teams for zones 2 and 3. Zone 2 covers North Trail from 10th Street to Indian Beach Drive. Zone 3 covers the Newtown community. Under the new policy, officers would patrol these zones alone. According to crime mapping from the past week, Zone 2 had 1 assault, while Zone 3 had 8 arrests for larceny, 4 for assault and burglary. In fact, Zone 3 had the highest number of arrests of any zone in the city. And joining us with more on reaction is Sorley Dee, the professor of criminology at the University of Tampa with more than 2 decades of law enforcement experience. And joining us by Skype is Mick McHale, president of the Southwest Florida branch of the Police Benevolent Association. We did invite Chief DePina to take part in this roundtable or send someone to speak for the department, but she declined. So, Mick, I know that this has been a tough situation for you and many of your officers. Chief DePina says this is going to add to the number of units on the street. Why do you think it's a bad idea?
Well, that's not accurate. There's no guarantee. The collective bargaining agreement, which was just ratified, has removed the guaranteed number of officers on the street from a number of 14 in the daytime to 15 at night. Now it is at the sole discretion of the chief of police. We're relying our position on 2 very crucial reports. One by the Department of Justice, the Community Policing Office, that the chief says she's attempting to mimic as far as providing community policing. And the other, which is just as important, is the 2015 FBI law enforcement officers killed in or assaulted in the line of duty. Those are the reports that we are relying upon.
The fact is, Dr. D, there are a lot of reports out there on the issue of 1 or 2 man patrol cars, and there are a lot of reports that seem to conflict with each other in terms of what is the better idea.
It has been a debate since 1956. In 1956, the Louisville, Kentucky Police Management Institute looked at this issue that we're looking at today. And what they found then, and in 1990, the NYPD also examined the same issue, and what they found was that police officers who are in a 1-unit patrol vehicle, for the most part, are not less safe than those who are in a 2-man patrol vehicle. However, if we are looking at backup, police officers who are doubled will have a backup. A police officer in a single vehicle generally will not have a backup. In terms of safety, last year there were 64 police officers that were killed nationwide by gunfire. Out of those 64 officers, most of them, the vast majority, were in a 2-man patrol vehicle. This year alone, we've lost 7 police officers nationwide to gunfire. 3 of them died, and those 3 were in a vehicle by themselves. The other 4 were in a vehicle with other police officers or had a partner.
Mick, what is the people who are watching this tonight to make of some of these competing statistics? I mean, is it something like many things in life that statistics don't tell the entire story?
Well, Alan, great question. According to the Department of Justice report, I'm speaking exclusively of ambush attacks. There were 231 ambush attacks of police officers in the year 2015. 62% were single officer vehicles. The 2-officer patrols had an average of 9%. The survivor rate is 43% for the officers when those offenders have prior criminal records. The 2015 FBI report revealed 50,212 officers were assaulted, 28% sustained injury. 62% of that report showed single officer vehicles. 17.7% were two officer vehicles. Those statistics are two government-generated reports, not union-generated. The United States government, both the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Right.
And we would point to those reports as a glaring example of how officers are a target of attack.
But Dr. D, it is also true that in many departments around the country, two officer patrol units are a thing of the past, with some notable exceptions, including New York and Los Angeles.
Yes, we have almost 900,000 police officers. And the last report from the Bureau of Justice Statistics suggested that we have 837,000 police officers nationwide and over 12,000 police agencies. And out of all of these agencies, only the NYPD and the Los Angeles Police Department primarily use two officer patrol vehicles. The vast majority of agencies nationwide use single officer police vehicles. My colleague is right that when it comes to ambush, like we had in 2015, the case of Officer Gofford in Texas. So the officer was at the gas station pumping gas, and somebody walked from behind him and fired the officer. And even after the officer fell, this person emptied his gun on the bullet. So that's a case where if you had two officers, you probably will not have lost that.
We're going to dive more into this, but you are also a longtime New York City policeman.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about more of this. We are just getting started. Our discussion continues in a moment, right after our check with the weather, so stay with us.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500 starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Our discussion of police policy in Sarasota continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our weather with Wendy Ross. Wendy.
Hello, Alan, and we are looking at the rain. It is sitting on top of us right now, and there's one area out here. It's located about 20 miles offshore, and it's moving in our direction. This will be the heaviest batch of rain that is going to be coming through our area over the next hour or so, but it is going to be a steady slog for the rest of the night and into the overnight time period. So these rains are going to be coming on in, and we could see anywhere from ½ an inch to an inch of rain by the time this is all over. The heaviest rains will be to our north. The lightest rains, as far as amounts are concerned, will be to our south, and we are expecting a marginal risk of severe weather. So we're not looking for severe weather for tonight. We've had the heaviest rains throughout the day over the northern part of the state, the Panhandle, and what we're going to be seeing throughout the rest of the night is we've got to get that cold front through us. That low pressure system is going to be moving away, and by tomorrow morning we're going to start to see the sunshine and the rain will all be away. But with that passage of that cold front, we're also going to be seeing some colder temperatures moving through. We are going to be seeing gorgeous weather Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Winds are not that strong right now. You can see they're only about 7 to 15 miles per hour, but we are going to be seeing gusty winds once the front moves on through, up to 25 miles per hour, mostly on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see those heavy, heavy gusts of wind coming on in with the passage of that front. Right now, or daytime highs today got up to 73 because we saw so much in the way of cloud cover, and right now the temperature reading is 67 degrees, but it's not going to be too cold for the rest of tonight. We're going to see our readings mostly staying in the 60s and 70s. And as you can see, we've got this one front and the secondary one that's going to come on through and reinforce that cold weather that is going to be spilling down across the state. And that is going to start to take place tomorrow. So for the rest of tonight, we've got showers, the possibility of a thunderstorm, and then we've got cooler weather moving on in, with a warm-up beginning on the weekend. So things are going to get better. And if you're heading out to the beach tomorrow, small craft advisories will be in effect. We'll see some sunny skies for tomorrow as well, but we're going to have a little bit of cloud cover during the early part of the day. We only warm up to a temperature reading of about 70 degrees. And of course, we will be right back with the rest of the conversation.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why is
heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right, we will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call for your free author submission kit at 800-425-5308.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing a major policy change at the Sarasota Police Department. Last month, Chief Bernard DePino announced officers would patrol all parts of the city with only a single officer in a unit. Before the change, policy required officers to work in teams in Newtown and North Sarasota. While Chief DePino turned down our request to be on tonight's program, we are joined by Sarli D., a criminology professor at the University of Tampa and a former New York City police officer. And joining us by Skype is Mick McHale, president of the Southwest Florida branch of the Police Benevolent Association. And Mick, let me go back to you and correct me if I'm wrong. In terms of the right to make this decision, you agree that Chief DePino had that right. But when it got down to the actual policy of making these units single-man units, what was your conversation like with the chief?
We agreed that the chief has the exclusive management right. When I met with the chief after this decision, I was then informed by the chief that the city has made a #1 priority of a staff analysis study to be conducted. It's been authorized by the city manager and supported by the city commission. That was the first time I heard of this type of study being commenced. What we would respectfully request is we could have waited till that study was completed and then made this drastic decision. The other concern we have is we have yet to have the chief identify a specific report or anything that supports this drastic change. As a matter of fact, looking at the chief's history, she has never worked in the environment with the demographics that are here in the city of Sarasota.
Let me jump in and ask you, did you say bluntly to the chief that you believe this policy is going to put officers in danger?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And the chief, just as she is related in previous reports, we brought it to the chief's attention, the concern of the officer safety, and the response was that they were going to monitor this decision and, if possibly needed, make a change. One of the challenges that I had directly to the chief was if the shift lieutenant deemed it necessary to put 2 police officers in one vehicle, would they be permitted to do so? And the answer was no. So that clearly indicated to me that the chief was moving forward with the single officer vehicle, and that issue was not up for discussion.
All right. Professor D, #1, you worked in the patrol division at the NYPD, so you know exactly what you're talking about here. And despite saying the fact that single officer patrol cars is becoming the norm around the country, you do believe that there is a time and place for 2 officer patrol cars, correct?
Absolutely. And you have to look at a number of factors. The population density, it's one of the factors. The threat level to police officers in those areas. If you have an elevated threat level to police officers in particular areas, a 2-officer patrol vehicle in those areas will. And if you are also working in areas where officers constantly need a backup, then police officers will be at risk if they are placed in a vehicle by themselves.
Let me try to ask Mick that. Do you have any data in terms of the particular areas that we are talking about, Mick, how often officers require that backup?
Yes, we are in the process of collecting the data. You led into tonight's report accurately that Zone 3 is an area that has the highest number of causes for officer-involved actions. And it's interesting, the city released a report today of a prostitution sting in the north section, which is typically known as Zone 1. But there has been an occasion, at least once, if not more, where we actually worked a 12-hour shift without a designated officer to that zone. So to your question, yes, we are gathering on a daily basis the operational staffing report as well as reports for calls for service. We were made aware as early as last week, 2 officers called for backup only to be met with a response from dispatch that there was no backup available. Fortunately for the community and the officers, it had a peaceful resolution after a brief struggle with the individual contact.
Dr. D, I would imagine in any police department of a moderate-sized city or a large city, the friction between the community and the officers is something that ebbs and flows. It can get better for a while. It could, in times of maybe reacting to national news, there could be increased tension. Do you see departments around the country reacting in terms of their manpower decisions based upon that?
Yes. About 2 years ago, we had a number of deadly encounters between citizens and police officers nationwide. And many police officers, many police agencies during that period moved their officers from 1 officer patrol vehicles to 2 officer patrol vehicles. And the reason was officer safety. So there are also other agencies that have special condition vehicles. If an agency is going to have a felony car stop, you need 2 officers or more. If there are certain conditions that may warrant 2 officers, and so the mixed method where agencies have both single officer patrol cars as well as 2 officer patrol cars will be by far the best approach in terms of officer safety.
We have a little less than 2 minutes in this segment. I want to ask both you gentlemen the same question. Mick, I think you basically said this, but are you saying that there is basically marching orders coming out of City Hall to go to the single officer cars as a way to save money, and that there is no flexibility?
No. I want to clarify. The chief has made that exclusive decision. The chief and the chief alone to go to single officer vehicle. What the chief revealed to me in my subsequent meeting after this change was there is to be a study, staff study analysis conducted by an outside agency that the city commission, the city manager, and the chief of police are going to conduct this staff study analysis. What I should say is a reputable company.
Right.
My response, or our response, is no changes should have been made until that study had a chance to become completed.
All right.
There was no rush to this decision.
All right, Dr. D, in how many communities around the country have you found that budgetary constraints and political pressures have driven the decision whether or not to go to single officer cars?
So if the goal is to cut cost at the expense of police officers, then that will not benefit the communities. Or the officers. So the goal here, if the City of Sarasota Police Department is putting officers in single cars, single officers in patrol cars, in order to double the number of cars without reducing the manpower, then the officers and the citizens will see more police presence, because more police presence will serve as a deterrent. But if the goal is to reduce cost by reducing the number of police officers on the street, then that will not.
But have certain cities been found to do this in order simply to save money?
Several years ago, Philadelphia moved to a 1-officer police vehicle, and it's economically more prudent to have single officer vehicles than 2-officer vehicles. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about Friday's topic, the halfway point in the President Trump's first 100 days. Stay with us.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Adults who were preemies could face more mental health risks in the next Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency.
We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-658-3433. 800-658-3433.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Car experts and customers agree. There's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Welcome back. Will single officer patrols throughout the city of Sarasota help strengthen community relations, or does it create an unnecessary risk for officers? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. So Mick, as you're talking to our viewers tonight, what do you want them to take away from the position that you're trying to take here?
I want the viewers to completely understand the inherited danger associated with these type of decisions. The rhetoric that it increases the availability of officers to respond for calls is not accurate. We have not increased the number of officers available for calls. If anything, we have decreased those numbers, and 35 to 40 years of statistics had proven that it's in the best interest of the community as well as officer safety in certain areas within the city of Sarasota to continue with the 2-officer patrol zone.
All right, Mickey, we do wish the chief was able to join us tonight, but Dr. D, have many of the communities around the country, large cities, small cities, done that they've gone to single officer cars, but in certain areas at certain times they have continued the use of 2 officers in 1 patrol car?
Most cities nationwide use a single officer patrol car, except of course New York City and Los Angeles. And statistically, there is no statistical significance in terms of danger to police officers who are in single vehicle cars, as well as officers who are in 2 officers in a police car. However, we know that from most of the research that have been done, that officers feel safer when they are with other officers than when they're in a single vehicle.
And we have to leave it there. And we do know that when we say 1-man or 2-man patrol cars, there are a lot of women police officers who are out there protecting us. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about Friday's topic, the halfway point in the President Trump's first 100 days in office. While the administration is already fulfilling many of Trump's campaign promises, such as implementing extreme vetting, cracking down on immigration, and beginning the process of repealing and replacing Obamacare, it has also been mired in scandal. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigned, and there has been a near constant drip of information about links with Russia. Here's what some of you are saying about the first 50 days. B. Kyles writes, if he would just left to do what he is there to do, a whole lot more would get done. He has too many hurdles thrown in front of him, but he is overcoming them. Let him do what he promised the American people he would do, take care of the people's business. and make America great again. Mary Beth Waltz writes, "What hurdles? His own missteps have caused all his problems. He's totally inept for the job." And Mike Kevin Koch writes, "We have had a good run, America. Too bad it had to end this way." Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Shirley Dee is an assistant professor of criminology at the University of Tampa, and Mick McHale is president of the Southwest Florida chapter of the Police Benevolent Association. He joined us tonight by Skype. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather. Plus, Florida Republicans often criticize government spending, but it turns out they've been using hundreds of millions of your tax dollars for their own legal protection. We'll have the details in our prime time headlines.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need
the Debt Ninja. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, you could be facing wage garnishments, levies, liens, property seizure, cancellation of business license, closure of business. The Debt Ninja fights your IRS debt. That's why you need the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja has found the best companies in the country who are on your side to fight debt. Want to learn if you qualify for the IRS Financial Hardship Program? Stop the IRS from garnishing your wages. Even if your bank account has been seized, if you have undeclared taxes, if you have existing IRS debt, it's not too late to call, so grab your phone now. Call the Debt Ninja at 800-945-0083. That's 800-945-0083. Settle your IRS debt to get the power of the Debt Ninja. Dial this number now, 800-945-0083.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on the weather with Wendy Ross.
And Alan, it is still raining, and it is going to rain throughout most of tonight and into tomorrow morning. You can see the showers sitting offshore, and there's plenty of them. You can see that they continue to form well to the south and west of us, and they're all moving in our direction. The heaviest rains right now are located about 20 miles offshore, and they're moving in our direction as well. So we're going to be seeing those rains coming in throughout the overnight time period and into about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those showers should be coming to an end. What we are looking at is the heaviest rains will be to our north, and the lightest amount of activity is going to be down to the south. So we'll see anywhere between a half an inch to an inch of rainfall, and the risk for severe weather is very minimal for tonight. We're not looking for severe thunderstorms to develop. We've got the showers that are going to be coming on through for the rest of tonight, and then by tomorrow morning we're going to see some cloudy skies, then clearing conditions, and on Wednesday and Thursday we're going to see the coldest weather moving on in to our viewing area. We're going to see our temperatures down into the 60s once that cold front moves on through. The winds so far have been fairly calm. You can see that we're not seeing a whole lot in the way of wind speeds, but we will be increasing those beginning on Tuesday and continuing through Wednesday with up to 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts that are going to be coming on through the area. That's all going to happen with the passage of that frontal system that's moving on in. Today we got up to a high of 73, an overnight low of 59. You're going to remember those temperatures in the next couple of days. Right now it's 67 degrees, but once these two cold fronts move on through, that colder weather is going to sift on down, and we are going to be seeing much colder readings over the next couple of days. So this is what's going to be happening: showers and possible thunderstorms through Tuesday morning. And then we've got the cooler weather moving on in for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're going to see a warmer weekend ahead. If you're heading off to the beach, we're looking at small craft advisories to be in effect. Winds will be coming in out of the northwest tomorrow at 20 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. You can still make it out to the beach tomorrow. You just may have to take a blanket with you. The temperature will be 70 degrees. We'll be right back.
Happy birthday! When I turned 18, something big happened on my birthday. Every comfort that I knew, gone. This is what it feels like to age out of the foster care system in America. And this is the feeling that nearly 30,000 young people experience every year. But it can be better. You and me, working together for success beyond 18. Improve the lives of young people aging out of foster care. Learn more at jimcaseyouth.org.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Attention sleep apnea sufferers. If you use CPAP therapy, if you have private insurance, or you're on a Medicare replacement plan, we may be able to help you get your CPAP supplies at little or no cost to you and free shipping. Most insurance companies allow a patient to get a new CPAP mask, cushion, filter, and tubing every 3 to 6 months to prevent respiratory infection and skin sores.
That's why you should call Americare CPAP. Call 800-423-5457. That's 800-423-5457.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,599. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Now for your primetime headlines, the case that sparked protests around the country is back in the spotlight. Previously unreleased surveillance video showing Michael Brown hours before he was shot by a police officer could shed new light on the shooting. ABC's Daniel Backus explains.
Overnight, more protest in Ferguson, Missouri, sparked by this new surveillance video from the same store where in 2014, police said Michael Brown committed a strong armed robbery. The new video, part of a documentary called Stranger Fruit, debuted this weekend at a Texas film festival.
They wanted us to think Michael robbed the store because they needed us to think that Michael was aggressive.
The film suggests Brown and the people working at the corner store exchanged a box of cigarillos for drugs, which appears to be happening here, and Brown left the cigarillos at the store. The filmmaker who discovered the video says it's recorded nearly 11 hours before Brown returned to the store. Brown's uncle says police lied about his nephew.
The picture they painted of my nephew was not right.
When Michael Brown was shot and killed by Officer Darren Wilson in 2014, this was the video police shared days after the shooting. Brown is seen with his hands around a shopkeeper's neck as he leaves with a carton of cigarillos. Police saying he used the same level of aggression with Officer Wilson. Today, the St. Louis County prosecutor saying the documentary video isn't new, it's poorly edited, and there was no exchange of drugs for goods.
I was clearly an attempt to distort this and to turn it into something it isn't.
The documentary suggests Brown argued with the clerk to get his things back. Legal experts say while this video is important in terms of the big picture of what happened that evening, it is not relevant to what happened later between Darren Wilson and Michael Brown. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now to the White House, where President Trump spent the day meeting with Americans who say Obamacare failed them. Trump says it might be better politically to let the Affordable Health Care Act stay in place. He reiterated his claim the program is on the verge of collapse. Moving on, the president says it may take a year or longer for the benefits of the GOP health plan to kick in. Today, the Congressional Budget Office announced 14 million Americans would lose their coverage under the Republican replacement. Here in Florida, Governor Rick Scott and Republican state lawmakers frequently complain about government spending, but it turns out they're spending hundreds of millions of your dollars on their legal fees. An investigation by the Associated Press finds Governor Rick Scott's, since Governor Scott took office in 2011, his administration and the state legislature has paid private attorneys more than $237 million to advance and defend their agendas. Florida taxpayers are the ones stuck paying those fees. According to the AP, no one in the state government tracks the spending, including Attorney General Pam Bondi. Meanwhile, Governor Scott is lashing back at House Republicans. On Friday, they approved a bill to abolish the economic development agency Enterprise Florida and strip funding from the state marketing agency Visit Florida. Scott says he plans to travel the state advocating for both organizations.
It's about some family's job. I mean, it's just, so I'm optimistic, but look, I'm going to fight for jobs. I'm going to go around the state this whole session. I'm going to tell everybody, reach out to their House members and their Senate members. I'm going to let people know how their House members have voted already and say, call them and ask them, why did they vote that way?
Governor Scott has been openly feuding with House Speaker Richard Corcoran about the agencies over the past several months. 9 months after the worst mass shooting in U.S. history at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, the federal government is lending assistance. Today, the Justice Department is designating $8 million to pay for grief counseling and reimburse the costs of running an assistance center after the massacre. 49 people were killed and dozens more wounded last June when the gunmen pledging allegiance to the Islamic State opened fire in the LGBT club. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.